Hey everybody, welcome to Daniel Asks number 9. We are just cruising and bruising. So let's just get right into it. I haven't been feeling well and I'm finally healthy and free from strep throat. It was awful. So I've got a little bit of energy now that I've recuperated, and let's just go right into it. This is number 9, as I mentioned. Last one, which was number 8, we talked about what you guys thought about Americans, and then I asked you what are some New Zealand slang or phrases and words that you guys have here that's pretty commonplace that maybe isn't so common in other countries around the world, specifically mine, America. So you guys came out in full force as always. A lot of good comments, a lot of similarities, a lot of ones that are repeated. So if I don't mention yours, I'm sorry. Like I said, there's 22 comments. If I read through all of them, it would take forever. So I'm just gonna pick like 3, maybe 4, and we're gonna get right into it. So last video's question again, what are some slang words or phrases that you all use that isn't necessarily as popular in other places of the country? So maybe something I haven't heard before. Let's get right into it. So right off the bat, the first comment is one that I have tried so hard to understand. And there's a video link in this comment that explains the slang, or it's where it came from or where it originated from. And I don't get it. And I've tried. So I'm sorry if I'm just like super dense and I just don't know what's being said, and I should know this, but I just struggle. So the comment is from Nek Minnit. And Anne said that probably the one that she thinks no one overseas would get is Nek Minnit. It is one of those you had to be there sayings. It is short for next minute, as I was off to the beach, and next minute something happens. To make sense of it, watch this. So I watched the video. Also, I assume people overseas understand that we say yeah, nah, but not what it means. Someone asks you if you want to go to the beach on Saturday. Out of politeness, you say yeah, as in yes, and you're not so sure, you say nah, as in no. Usually you are thinking out loud as you go through the pros and cons. So Nek Minnit, I just, literally as I was reading that, it just finally clicked in my head. Because the video that I watched was of this guy. He was talking about he was at a dairy or he was at a shop, and then left his skateboard outside, and then the next minute it was destroyed. So now I'm getting it. I got it. I'm sorry. It just took like 5 or 6 times of watching or reading it or thinking about it to finally click in my head. And it is pretty clever. It is witty. I'll have to see if I can drop it at work this week, drop the phrase, and see if anybody's like, where did you hear that? Because I've never heard it before until you guys made this comment. As for the other thing you mentioned, and whenever someone's thinking, they go, yeah, nah, or no, yeah. That's pretty actually commonplace for Midwest America. We do that too. There would be multiple times where we're like, yeah, no, or no, yeah. Yeah, it's just it's a phraseology. I just think a lot of people do it. It's just something we all kind of do because we're just rambling people, and we're not sure if we want to do something or we don't. So we have to think about it, and so we say one way and then we change our mind. I don't know, but I do understand that one. But Nek Minnit, I'm gonna have to say it sometime this week just to see if I can throw somebody off at work. Thank you, Anne. So the second comment today is from Kiwi at the camera. Chris, how's it going, man? This comment says, bugger, as popularized in this Toyota commercial, as is bugger, a cock up, as in the variations in the Toyota ad. Bugger off, meaning either you go away or I'm going to go somewhere, and nothing to do with the original origins of the word. It's one of those slang words that sits neatly on the fringe between common usage and a bit naughty. So Chris, I watched the video you attached here of the Toyota commercial where the guy's like towing stuff in the hitch and he's just making a mess of everything. By the time I finished it, I was laughing out loud, and Alyssa was asking me what I was watching that was so funny. So it's really clever. It's a really good commercial, and I just died laughing at the end when the dog actually said bugger after he missed jumping on the truck. It was fun.
Bugger. Bugger.
If you guys haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description underneath today's video, but it's pretty funny. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, bugger is one I have heard very rarely. I'm usually meant just to be a a mean kind of joke to a friend, telling him to bugger off because he's annoyed by him or something. So I've heard it before. But yeah, that's definitely one you don't ever hear in America. Bugger off or bugger at all. It's just, there's other words we tend to use instead of that. So, but I don't mind it. I like that one, bugger off. It's funny. I might have to try to use it at work again too. So you guys are giving me a lot of bad ideas. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate the comment. So the next comment is from Simon Teasdale. And this one, it's a little bit longer, so I'm going to just go straight to the New Zealand slang. You guys can read the rest of the comment if you want. But he says, yeah, nah, which again is what we talked about earlier. Nah, yeah, and yeah, nah, just the differences in meanings. Next one is chur. It's thanks in an informal setting, chur bro. I've never heard that yet, so it's an interesting one I haven't heard. Shot, which is good, awesome, or thanks. I have heard that. And when someone said it, I was very confused. I was like, what? I kind of thought, I was like, shot, like, you want to do a shot right here, right now? Like, alcoholic shot? I was like, that's not, the setting wasn't very good for that. So I was like very confused by it. So that was interesting. Bro, which of course we all use. And then I always want to say batch. Is it botch? Batch. I think it's batch. It's a holiday home. I've heard that a lot used, but it's not something we ever use in the US. And then this one's kind of interesting. It's Jaffa. I'm assuming I'm saying it right. Jaffa or Jaffa. Derogatory term for Aucklanders, short for just another Aucklander. So yeah, I haven't heard that one before. I mean, I saw there's like a candy, a Jaffa candy, or it's like a chocolate Maltese or something. I've seen those. I don't really care for them, but I also don't know a whole lot of Aucklanders, but do they kind of ride a high horse or something? You fill me in on that one, guys. Let me know if Aucklanders just ride a high horse. So the next one says other terms are across the ditch, which is Australia. I have heard that as well. Pavlova, a classic Kiwi dish. Never heard of that. Kai, which is actually a very common used word in our work, which is early childhood. We call Kai or food Kai all the time. So for like lunch and afternoon tea and morning tea and stuff. And then Manu, a specific kind of dive that creates a huge splash. I have never heard of that one either. So you guys Simon, you've taught me a lot of new ones today. I swear, like I think my mission this week at work is gonna be to see how many I can say correctly and throw off my colleagues as much as possible to see what their reactions are. So thanks, Simon, I appreciate the comment. Last comment is from Dallas Frost, and it's another long one, so I'm gonna go straight to the part where he just talks about the slang. I appreciate your comment, Dallas. I read the whole thing. Just for the purposes of getting through this video kind of quicker, I'm gonna just shorten it, so no harm there, buddy, I'm sorry. But Dallas says dairy, which is another word for a corner shop. That is something I had never heard of until we got here. In America, corner shops aren't really a commonplace thing. All the things that corner shops or dairies usually sell around here, we would just buy at a gas station. Like you go and load up gas, you walk in and you can buy all that stuff. Corner shops don't really exist very well in the States, at least not in the Midwest. We usually just go to like a Walmart or a Target or whatever. I mean, just stores like that. But anyway, batch, yep, and that now I know for sure I pronounced it right. A holiday home, we read that earlier. Jandals, flip-flop sandals, I've heard of that. Togs, which is swimming wear, never heard of that. Chur, which again, we had from another comment, that's good. It's another way of saying thanks. Hard case, which is referring to someone as funny. I have not heard that yet. A hard case, you're a hard case, referring to someone as funny. Yeah, I haven't heard that. We also like to end our sentences with a, pronounced a way of signaling, do you agree? Similar to what Canadians do. We additionally don't like to be too upfront with our answers, so when saying no, we'll say yeah, nah, and vice versa. Yeah. So I'm hearing a lot of the same stuff here, or reading a lot of the same stuff here for New Zealand slang, guys. All of it's very similar, and I appreciate it. You guys have taught me so many things just now for me to use at work to really just see kind of how people react. But thanks, so I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and move on to the question for today. So for the question for today, guys, this one's a little bit of an opinion towards your own country. So for New Zealand, the question is, Do you think there are any misunderstandings or misconceptions about New Zealand as a whole that people from other countries may have? And if so, what do you think these misunderstandings are and how can they be corrected? Like, how do you think we can fix them? So, for you guys, or for me specifically as an American, I think some of the misunderstandings could be that Americans are all jerks and assholes and that all we care about is watching TV, eating food, and American football. Maybe a little stereotypical, but I think that's a big misconception. And the way that can be corrected is by maybe more people getting out and getting to know other people from other country and making ourselves known and present to be more than just those things. So I guess what I want to know from you guys is what's a big misunderstanding or misconception about New Zealanders or Kiwis as a whole? And it could be a stereotype if you want that you've heard about you guys, about yourselves, but I basically asked you guys 2 videos ago, what are your thoughts on Americans? Now I kind of want to know, what do you guys think we have wrong or other people have wrong or misconceptions about Kiwis here in New Zealand? I've seen a lot from being here and I've seen only good things. But what are some things maybe you think people are wrong about when it comes to New Zealand or Kiwis? As always, I'll read every single comment. I appreciate you guys for all the support and I'll see you guys in a week, as always. Bye guys.